Welcome back to Sunday Fan Chat, Soccer as we like it, the Man United direction. Today we are joined with the UK and United States crew. Joining us from UK is Bim, the analyst. Welcome back, mate.
Hey guys, how you all doing?
Not bad. You disappeared for a few weeks. We missed you, but welcome.
Yeah, I was celebrating Easter.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
I thought you did a pre-Easter celebration,
pre-Easter
right?
celebration. Yeah.
Okay. Representing USA is the Denver and Houston Red Army. Louis, welcome to the show.
What's going on, Big Tim? What's going on, y'all?
Good. And the controversial one from Houston Red Army, the Benz man. Benz, welcome on.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you guys doing?
Good. Right, United won yesterday by 2-0, beating Everton. A match United fans thought, okay, this is a game we could reduce the goal difference between us and Newcastle. 27 shots on goal, 2 goals. What was your take, Vim?
It was a good bounce back, but looking at the top of the table, Arsenal have won the last 5 games. Liverpool, sorry, did I say Liverpool? City have won the last 5 games,
Wow.
and Newcastle have won the last 5 games. And we've had a blip. We've lost 2, won 2, drawn 1. So, lose against Newcastle, and what was the other team that we lost against?
Liverpool.
Yeah. And then, winning the last 2, we've had a bit of a blip. If we had not had these blips, and Newcastle really was painful. I know Liverpool was humiliating, but Newcastle was painful because that's a game we should have won, and those are contenders for top 4. And for us to just not perform, it's kind of shameful, really. So bounce back we needed, and we needed to beat Everton convincingly, which we did because they're at the moment they're bottom feeding. So yeah, it was good to see a win anyway.
Louis, Man United 2, Everton 0. Do you think you could have done better?
Oh yeah, that was not good enough, not by a long shot. The finishing again is poor. Mistakes at the back. We got pretty lucky in several instances. It's a necessary win, but it is like Vim said, it's a game that we should be winning. And we expect to win these types of games. And look, it goes to show like we're still in the rebuild process, right? We're still far off from where we want to be,
right?
But we want to see a Manchester United where we're beating teams at the bottom comfortably, consistently,
right?
And that's not happening. Even the draw earlier this month against Southampton,
that was new. That was horrible.
Yeah, it's a horrible game. Newcastle was a horrible game, and we're running into the long stretch of playing every 3.5 days. It's still something that we talk about. Eriksen came back. It was nice to see him grab minutes, but then Rashford goes down, right? And it's not exactly clear how long he's going to be out and these kinds of things. It's clear that we miss Casemiro. And was that his last game suspended?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, you get some back in rotation, but then you lose someone like Rashford is extremely, extremely important for us. So not the outing that we wanted. Thank goodness we won, but yeah, we need to do better.
Right. Bemsy. Man United 2, Everton 0. What was your take on that game? Was it a fantastic game or just
I won't say it was a fantastic game in my opinion. I think we just took too long to put the game to bed. Because we were 1-0 up for a while, and just at any moment Everton could have equalized that game, and we talked about a different story or a different game. So that's one thing that I will say, that we were creating the chances, we just weren't putting it to bed. Like we just weren't scoring. Because I know, wasn't it like in the first half we had so many shots on goals, we had so many like one-on-ones with the goalkeeper. Like what's his name?
Was on form,
Pickford was on form. He did really well. He saved like three chances from Anthony. He saved a couple from Rashford. It was ridiculous, and I was like, it's gonna come back and bite us in the back in the second half and Everton. But so yeah, that was the one thing I'll say, is that we just, although we controlled the game to a certain extent, we just didn't we weren't clinical enough to put the game to bed quick enough, which I would say I would say that, and that's been kind of one of our biggest issues this season is that we don't it's either we don't score enough goals, it's either we don't create enough chances, but even when we do create the chances, we're not clinical enough to just
finish all the chances.
Just finish all the chances. So it's one thing is one or the other with United this season. But yeah, that game, at least we won the game. I'm happy we won. Thank God.
Right.
Martial came in and scored his goal.
Yes, that was a big uplift for a lot of United fans seeing him score and you know, smile on his face. You could see he was happy. I think his last goal was against City when we were 6-1 down. It came with 2 goals. So as it stands now, United beating Everton. I mean, did you guys notice Bruno playing a very deep role?
Yeah.
What did you guys think of him, Vim? What did you guys like about his performance against
like that.
playing as a 6?
I like it when you switch it up like that because I mean he's got that vision, he's got that creativity, and I know he gets a lot of stick for giving the ball away. And with Casemiro being out and McTominay not being very good, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, McTominay not being very good on the ball in a deeper role. I think I like him in that position, you know, because he's almost playing as a box to box now because he's attacking, he's up there with the front three, and he's also back picking up the ball from defense. And you know, Eriksen used to do that, and Eriksen's just come back. So it's good that we have versatility. You know, Bruno I think he got man of the match.
Yes, he did.
I've always been a fan of Bruno. I know he's very passionate, he's very temperamental when he does throw his toys out the pram, but he's got a lot of talent. You know, just the way we saw Bruno in that first season, I think he was brilliant. He was a go-to player.
Right.
So it's good that he's developing versatility around him. He's a good all-round hard worker. He puts in a good shift. He helps out everywhere on the pitch. And we can see Scott McTominay, Wout Weghorst alternating in that role up front. I can't even say his name anymore. But yeah, Scott McTominay's got a new role, hasn't he? It's like a a number 2 for Wout, or playing that advanced role as a striker almost. And Fred, we're not seeing much of Fred now.
I noticed. Right, Louis.
Yeah, no, Bruno definitely man of the match for me. And he did the same thing against Brentford, right, where he's playing deeper. He is a player that likes to have the ball at his feet a lot, and when he gets to play deeper, he has a little bit more time, a little bit more space, and he gets to dictate the tempo for the team. It's a very, very, very good position for him. And of course, once he is dictating the tempo, once he's kind of starting up the build up, he gets to push up with the team, and he gets to go higher, and he gets to set up our attacking players for chances, and it's a very good spot for him. I think when you have Casemiro in there in that spot, I think him and Bruno just offered a lot more creativity. It's interesting how we have to rely on our 6 position so drastically because Scott McTominay is he isn't up to it. And Fred, even though he's better, is still not. He's not always the quality player that you need in that position, right? Sabitzer did better. I thought Sabitzer's last 2 outings have been refreshing for him. Especially because it's been kind of rocky his start for us. But yeah, man, Scooby freaking Doo. Finally getting the goal.
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you, man? Look, he has the goal in the first half, but he for the rest of the game, other than that moment, man, it really is. Where are you, man? He makes so little impact. He makes so little. He's more of a liability, losing the ball than anything. Was very, very, very disappointed with Scott McTominay, but Bruno covers for him, and it's unfortunate that he has to do so, right? It brings us back to when we had the McFred lineup in the midfield, is because one of them couldn't do it by themselves, right? So they had to do it together.
Together.
Yeah, it's very, very disappointing. And hopefully Newcastle were watching and they saw that goal and they said, okay, let's go and get him. And they can have him.
Right. Bemsy, Bruno's role yesterday as a 6. What did you think about him?
I think he did well. I think he was superb, man. He was a man of the match for me. I think he played that role really, really well. I mean, you can see the way he was just pinging those passes, man, left, right, center. He conducted the game perfectly from that position. And I think the reason why he was able to conduct the game that well is because I mean, I think I want to say I think Everton had a pretty much a high line during that game. So
Yeah.
They
Very
did play with a
weird
high
for them
line
as well.
Yeah.
It was not a good idea.
Yeah, very, very weird that they would do that at Old Trafford when you have the likes of Rashford and you have Anthony, you have is in the attackers that we have that could run in behind with pace. I just don't see why that was kind of dumb of them. And so Bruno was just picking those passes. He was just picking it. So that worked in his favor. And I was I mean, I was actually surprised at how well he played that role, to be honest with you. I didn't think he would play that well because Bruno is the type of person that when the team's attacking you, right? If a team's gonna attack you a lot, it's gonna like press you. You don't want Bruno playing that 6th position because he likes to spend time on the ball. He's the type of person that would lose the ball a lot in that 10th position. You don't want him losing it in the 6 because you're just inviting pressure left, right, center. But he handled it pretty well. He was quick. He was quick with those passes too. We got him just release it really quickly, just because I think Everton was playing the high line, and that worked in our favor. So he did well. Man the match for me. I think he deserves. I think fans don't give him enough credit that he deserves. So good performance from him.
That's good. Thank you, Ben. Yesterday someone was telling me because after the game in the pub, like Ben mentioned earlier, United. When they don't create, we complain. When they do create, we don't finish. So if you look at the people we had up front yesterday, we had Anthony, Sancho, and Rashford. Chances were created time and time and time. Well, Pickford, England's #1 goalkeeper, was it that he was so great or United were just poor in front of goal? Louis?
Both. I mean, Pickford had 9 saves in the game yesterday, and that's nothing to turn your nose up at, right? For a keeper, that's a good day at the park. But at the same time, no, we weren't on, man. We had some very clear cut chances, some one-on-ones that we put directly at Pickford. We made his job easy in certain circumstances. He had some really good saves, but he had some that were just really, really just easy for him. And I don't think Sancho played particularly well. I thought he definitely could have done better. It was obviously it was concerning to see Rashford come off early. Anthony Martial, man, he continues to remind us that he's a good player.
He is a good player.
He's a good player, and he can score goals and he can do great things for you. But man, if he just can't stay put together, I mean, the man's is made of glass. It's so unfortunate. So hopefully, if Rashford it looks like he's not out for an extended period of time, but if he is out for, a few weeks or whatever it is, hopefully at least Anthony can kind of come in and step up and at least just add something to our attack. I don't think he comes in a straight swap, right? Obviously, we rotate that position. We have Martial, we see Sancho, we see Anthony. Hopefully, we take Garnacho out of timeout at some point, because there's some problems surrounding this. But it's just not good enough from the finishing, and then it goes back to the conversation of who do we get this summer? Do we get Victor Osimhen, or Tottenham are now asking for over 100 million for Kane? But we need someone that
there's someone else in the picture though.
Who's the other one now?
Have a guess.
That I see.
Portugal came on in the World Cup.
What's that?
I would stay away from him. I would stay clear of him, though.
Goncalo
Ramos. Ramos,
Why?
yeah, I would
Yeah,
stay away from
Ramos
him.
is another one.
Why would you stay
Osborne's
clear?
another one. I mean, there's options for us.
I'm just not convinced.
Let Louis finish. Let Louis finish.
There's options for us. My point was just that Harry Kane is not worth 100 million.
No, he's not
at all, especially with less. I think he has less than a year on his contract. So there's literally no point. I mean, if we want him that bad, we'll just wait and get him on a free. But yeah, we need a clinical striker, and we need, and then the players that we do have need to be better.
Right, that makes sense. Vim, was Pickford great, or United were point in front of goal?
I just don't think we're dynamic enough. Our forward line almost seems quite predictable. Like, you know that Anthony's going to get the ball and he's going to turn on his left and cut in and shoot. Rashford, we know, has got pace and he needs a lot of space to run at and cut in and shoot. Jadon Sancho doesn't do anything for me. In fact, this is something I wanted to broach later on. Do you think we should keep him? Because I'm not impressed with that guy. And I know everyone keeps going on that he's brilliant at Dortmund, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. And what is he now? What is he now? Second season? Third season? What is it? Third season.
Third season.
Yeah, I'm just, for the price tag that we paid, I just don't see the work rate. I don't see the effort. I don't see the aggression. Yes, he's got twinkle toes. He's got very technical feet and he's good on the ball, but he's slow. He's not aggressive. And he doesn't look like he's taking on the players like he would. He doesn't inject any pace. And I'm not seeing any great crossing from him or anything, or even trying to get to that goal. Yes, he did a nice finesse and delicate pass to McTominay.
McTominay.
Yeah, and that might be his one saving grace yesterday, but generally I was unimpressed with him. What do you guys think?
We'll come to Sancho. Bems, Pickford great, United point in front of goal.
We were poor in front of goal. I think we should have put. Out of all those, Anthony had 3. Should have scored at least 1. Rashford should have scored at least 1. And I agree.
Okay, Wan-Bissaka, he just missed completely.
Yeah, he just missed completely. That should have been a goal too. I partly agree with him when he said we're not dynamic enough. I agree with that. We're not dynamic enough. We're too predictable. So it's easier for teams to defend against when you're so predictable. I would say for the Sancho comment that you guys made, I do agree. Sancho is not giving us what we should be seeing by now, but I will say that yesterday I think he played I think he did okay yesterday. I don't think he had a bad game yesterday.
Right.
I saw compared to previous weeks, I saw a bit more intensity. For what I saw,
yeah, I noticed too. A bit.
Yeah. He wasn't just like, you could tell he was running. He was going back to defend a couple times. I did see that. I will say that even though Sancho should be providing more by now, I totally agree with that. But I still would say, just he went through whatever he went through. I'm willing to give him a bit more time. Because there's a player in there. There's a player in there that was killing it at Dortmund. You could see the videos, the clips. He was destroying it. For some reason, he's just not back to where he should be. And
You think the pace of the Premier League is too much for him?
I don't think it's necessarily the pace of the Premier. I think he's still not where he needs to be. One, and I'll say number 2, we're not still playing the way to get the best out of Sancho.
Can I add something to that?
Okay.
When you finish.
Okay. So I don't think we're playing the best way to get the best way to get the way to get the best out of Sancho is the play is to have ball possession, at least 70% ball possession, right? We don't always do that. In some games we do, in a lot of games we don't. We're still a counterattacking team to an extent, to be honest with you. And Sancho, he plays a lot better in the team that is just gonna push you and is just gonna press you and keep the ball and just keep and also I don't think a lot of the players play the same way Sancho plays. Sancho is a give and go, like he likes to dribble, he likes going, but he's that give and go type player too. So you need more of those type of players around Sancho to get more out of Sancho. Like Martial will play well with Sancho. Bruno can do it too. I would say Eriksen too as well. But we haven't really, even though yes, Sancho should be giving us more, I still think that I'm willing to give him a bit more just to at least till next season to see what else Ten Hag can get for the team, and to get until I see us playing more of the possession type game that Ten Hag I think wants to play, then I won't conclude on Sancho till then. Just my opinion.
Right, Vim, you wanted to add on to Bems?
Yes, I was speaking to someone about this because everyone says that Sancho played brilliantly at Dortmund, and yes, I'm still waiting to see it. And a lot of people think that he should have spent another year at Dortmund to develop further as a player.
He's already done 4 years in there, isn't he?
Yeah, but we got him at quite a young age, right? And they had a certain style.
That's a point. That's a point, then.
And it's the German league. You know, it doesn't have the toughness of the Premier League and the aggression. You know,
the robustness of it is true. That's a point.
So that's one view. But then again, he's had a lot of professional football in his life, and he's come from the City Academy. And yes, he's a technically gifted player. So we have to really ask ourselves: does he suit this squad?
I think he does.
I'm not convinced yet. I want him to, but I'm not convinced.
I think he does. The reason why I think he does is because Ten Hag wants to play the way Sancho likes to play. We're just not playing that yet. We're more of a counter-attacking team than a possession-based team still. Right. Yeah, we go in and out in different phases, but until we're more of a possession-based team, I won't give up on Sancho completely until then. Just my opinion, though.
Right, Louis.
Yeah, he needs to move on. I think. I don't think he beats the Premier League.
That's a bit blunt, isn't it, mate?
I mean, look, he's not. I don't think he's happy here. I don't think it is the style that he wants to play. And look, frankly, I don't think that we're going to get there, because Borussia Dortmund don't just play a Dutch possessive style. Like, Ten Hag does not want to play Borussia Dortmund football. Borussia Dortmund football is, yes, it is high possessive, but it's high physicality. Like, it is physically fit footballers that can sprint for 90 minutes, that can press for 90 minutes, that can, that they rely on the physically fit athlete to be able to do that. Technically gifted players, yes, but it's I mean, as soon as they lose the ball, it's everybody up, everybody in your face, everybody pressing together. And to do that for 90 minutes, if the entire squad isn't physically fit, it's extremely, extremely difficult. That's why, most clubs don't play this style. And the ones that do they're either very successful at it, or they go through spells like Dortmund is, where they are not struggling, but they're not in the top spot either, right? And for Sancho, I think, look, we're not going to change our style to play through him or fit around that specific player. Right. You have to be able to adapt to what we're asking you to adapt to, and frankly, I just think
which is true.
And I don't know if he's. It's not that I don't think he's capable. I just don't know if he's interested. I don't know. If seriously, I don't. It's one of those situations where it's like, I don't want to leave, but if the offer came, if somebody called, I
don't think we're going to get the same amount. I think we're looking at 50 now.
You're not going to get the same that you paid for, because I mean, frankly, And look, this is something that we do, right? I'm not saying that he was not a good footballer or anything like this, but we pay a high price tag for overhyped English players. It's part of.
He had the stats to prove it, though, when he was in Dortmund
in the Bundes, in the German league, man. And
I mean, there are players that have left there.
I'm not taking away from I'm not taking away from his credentials in the Bundesliga. Like, he scored a lot of goals.
He also proved in the Champions League too. He did in the Champions League too.
He did well, but we overpaid for him because he is an English player, and I can
agree with that.
Do you know what his salary is?
So now 75. 375 a week.
Look, I don't think that he is a bad footballer, but I think 3 years, man.
I don't think, but in the 3 years we haven't played the way we haven't. But see, Ten Hag, we're not playing the way Ten Hag wants to play.
So he's played under 3 different men. He's played under Ole.
He's still not playing the way Ten Hag wants to play.
Ole wasn't picking him.
But Woody has shown that he is not a versatile footballer, that he can adapt. That's what I'm getting at. Like I think he can.
Yeah,
brilliant.
but that's the way some players are.
Brilliant, but you have to be able
one at a time.
You have to be able to play the style of the team that you're on, and you can.
But we aren't playing the style that Ten Hag wants to play yet, though. That's what I'm saying.
But Ben, do you not think it's
playing it yet?
Ben, do you not think it's an expensive experiment?
Okay,
his second highest payday. He gets 350 grand a week.
I'm gonna ask you. So go sell him. How do you sell him?
Speak to the clubs who want to buy him.
There's no one that will buy. There's no one that would take Sancho on the salary that he has right now.
No way.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
So that's why he's comfortable at Man United.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere.
And that's
the second highest paid player.
That's not the solution. That's the problem.
Well, but the thing is, but the thing about it is that you have to get the best out of him, though. If you have a product, right, you can't sell it, right? You have to. You can't just leave it on the shelf. You got to get the best out of it, though.
Right.
How do you get the best out of it?
You really can't get the best out of. You know that.
Okay, right? You can get the best out of it because to his advantage, okay, to what you call it, to his advantage or to his whatever, to Sancho what Sancho has that I think Ten Hag still is not we still aren't playing the way Ten Hag really wants to play yet.
Right.
That's what's working in Sancho's favor, in my opinion. Until I see Ten Hag's
fully implement his style,
right? And Sancho still not performing in that fully implemented style, then it is what it is.
Can I ask this question?
Yeah.
Go on.
Has Marcus Rashford improved under Ten Hag?
Yes, he has.
Has Bruno?
Yes.
Yes.
Has Fred?
Yes.
Yes.
Has Shaw?
Yes.
Yes.
So if all these players are improving under the Ten Hag system, how come that Sancho is not improving?
Okay, but again, this what I'll say with fans, right? You can't conclude on you don't know for Ten Hag to take Sancho away for 3 months. There's got to be something that guy's going through. It has to be.
I agree.
It has to be something that. So you don't know.
I'm not going to say cut him because
you don't know. You can't conclude on a player like that when you don't know. He's a human being, and he's young. He's 22.
We
you can't just say the guy is not. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, right? But in my opinion, for a young player, right, that has the talents, clearly has the talents, right? For some reason, I think something mentally has gone on with Sancho, right? And I don't know, there was rumors of him losing someone close to him that passed away, a friend or something. I heard something of that sort. I think this is more of a mental battle with Sancho than anything else, right? And plus his physicality. I don't think he can play a full 90 minutes, right? I still don't think that yet either. But again, you can't just conclude. These are human beings. They go through stuff.
But you see, what United fans are looking at this, Ben, is like, okay, you have this guy. Okay, he played for England, missed the penalty, was never called back again. He's not played another game for England, I don't think, since that Euro 2020 final, right? Okay. He didn't go to the World Cup. He was omitted from the squad. He wasn't selected. That does play on your mind. I get it.
Correct.
But some United fans, I had a debate with that. Younger players, I know everyone's different.
Well, you want to call
when
Saka.
You wear that shirt, there's
you want to call Saka for Arsenal. He missed a penalty and he's playing well. Do you know the support system Saka has behind him? Do you know the family structure he has at Arsenal? Do you forget Arsenal? Do you know the family structure he has behind Saka? Do you know what I mean? Do you know the way he was brought up? If you talk to the England players, right, they will tell you.
Yeah, we get that.
Saka is one player that they will marry up to their sisters today. Right, because
we get that.
He has the background around him. He has a support system around him. Even in Arsenal, he's supported. He's a talented player too. Plus, Saka, I would say, Saka spent his whole career at Arsenal. He didn't leave. He's played more in the Premier League
also helps
than Sancho. So which going to help? Which going to help Saka?
Is Sancho?
You can't compare them both.
Is Sancho's issue a personal one, or is it the fact that the team doesn't play the right style?
I think Sancho has a personal mental thing that he's going through. That's why he went away for 3 months. That's one, right? Two, we're not playing the way Ten Hag wants to play, right? Completely, that will get the best out of Sancho. So that's two. That's two things. So what I'm saying is that until we have Ten Hag get more pieces of the puzzle that he wants to implement the way he wants to play, that's gonna give. And then, okay, Sancho, you're a good player. You're not performing. I'm gonna do my best to give you the platform. If you still cannot prove yourself in that platform, then it's over. It's time to go. But
there's
I'm
also
not
number
give
three.
up on him just yet.
There's also a number three.
Number three is
number
go
three
ahead.
is, can he cope with the pressure of being at United and being second highest paid earner in the club at the moment?
I totally agree. And
It's
time
not
will
easy.
tell.
But
no, that's what it is. Because what they're saying, even Gabby Agbonlahor is saying that he can't.
Talk sport.
He's been
that
going on
Gabby
Instagram.
Guy, he talks a bunch of
crap.
That guy's a clown.
We don't all know what's going on with Sancho, but his elevated status, his high salary, his high fee puts a lot of pressure on him to perform, and he's not performing. It's going to start creeping into his psyche. And this is why he's been struggling
with Manchester United for a long time, hasn't it? We don't take care of young footballers. Lingard,
there you go again.
Greenwood. There's countless examples of that. So
there you go.
The question might be, is it better for Jadon personally to find elsewhere where he can receive the support and flourish in a different system
and take the pressure off himself?
There was something.
He's way too much in the limelight. He gets paid more than Casemiro, Varane.
That's a good point. That's a good point too.
You see the thing here, too.
If he wants to go through it.
There's something Louis just mentioned just now. You mentioned Lingard, Mason, Sancho. They're all English. They're all young Man United players, right? So someone actually broke a thing to me like, how come players like Ronaldo, Nani, who were brought from another country to play in English football, they adapted quicker? Maybe was it because they were on Alex Ferguson?
Hunger?
The hunger. It might be the hunger.
I think it's the hunger. I think it's the hunger
coming from another league.
I think it's the hunger, and also I think it's the background. I think it's what they went through in their childhood. Like a lot of those players that you're calling, Tim, a lot of them didn't have really good upbringings. What I mean, as far as
poverty.
A lot of them went through poverty, so they have in them. They're like, I gotta do everything I gotta do. I gotta perform at my best. So I need this contract. I need to keep performing so I could get paid and then help my family. A lot of those players, they have a determination to prove that they could be the best in the world.
Is this a
English players
thing?
Everything. I think it's a culture thing too. I think a lot of these English players, everything is given to them. They don't go through. A lot of them don't go through hardship the way these foreigners do. Vim, go ahead.
It's not only English players. It's the system over here. Yeah. So if you go through troubled times, you've got the whole government system, the social security system to fall on. You don't starve here. You don't end up being on the streets unless you've got some serious issues. You've got a family structure here. You've got accommodation. You've got your accommodation paid for. Your rent paid for. You've got food put in your fridge, all paid for by the government. People in Portugal and Ecuador and Latin American countries and Brazil.
Don't have that.
You're poor.
No
one's going to look after you.
You're poor. You're gonna go eat. Yeah, that's a good one.
You have to remember. You have to remember as well the narrative around those players, right? When it comes to like English media, like if you remember Cristiano Ronaldo when he played for Manchester United the first time, it was like, oh, this pretty boy with his hair,
they were slacking him off.
And what happens to a teenager when you tell them that they can't do something? Oh, I'm gonna go prove your ass wrong. I'm gonna go do it.
I'll show you.
But with these English teenagers, it's like, oh, he's England, he's one of us. He's English are so good and blah blah blah. So it's like now you have this added pressure to live up to your community and your country, and that's a crazy different kind of pressure for a young footballer, right? So I mean, it's there's the English bias around English players specifically. It can really be to their detriment and their downfall. and not a young player example, but Harry Maguire is a great example of this, right? When he wins the league with Leicester and that, and
No, he did win the league. He came after.
Oh, or did he come after? But
he would have relegated them.
He would have relegated them.
No.
So they were having success in Champions League in the group stage.
Yeah.
And they were playing really, really well. And then they sacked their manager for God knows whatever reason.
What's his name?
That was an injustice. That was Claudio, right?
Claudio Ranieri, great guy.
Yeah, that was Claudio. And but I mean, like the 80 million price tag for Harry Maguire, everybody was like, oh, of course. Why would you pay anything less? That makes total sense, right? It's that he had some success and he's an English footballer, so he's worth more money. And I think that's the thing. That's what happened to Jadon Sancho. He had some success and he was an English player and he was young, so they were like, yeah, he's worth all that.
So is Bellingham going to fall into that same trap?
Very possibly. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, but very, very possibly. And I think that if we go and we get a Jude Bellingham, we're going to pay 80, 90, 100 million.
Oh, mate, he's 150 now.
yeah, exactly.
Next level.
He's up there. We're looking at doing the same mistake again, which is paying outrageous fees for young footballers that have had some success because they're English.
Maybe we could trade Jadon Sancho for Jude Bellingham.
So do you guys think? Do you guys think Anthony in his first season? I mean, this first season has done a bit more than Sancho, who's been here a bit longer.
Yes.
I think?
Yes.
Louis.
Yes.
I was telling someone yesterday that
Anthony has worked harder.
Yeah.
Anthony's first season versus Sancho's first season.
No, Sancho's been there a bit longer,
done.
and Anthony's doing more than somebody who's supposed to be doing much better.
I mean, my thoughts on Anthony is I really like Anthony, but he can definitely do better, right? Has he done more? Man, I would have to go to the books.
He's done more. He's done more than Sancho this season. He's done more. Let's be honest. He's done more than Sancho. Sancho's been here for how many? 2 years. Anthony's done.
I mean, Anthony's scored in some big games, hasn't he?
We're always a threat on the right as well.
Scored against Barcelona.
And you look at Anthony's work rate. He has more. His work rate is better than Sancho's overall.
Yeah.
He scored goals in big moments. You can.
He's not scared. He doesn't feel.
He's not
pressure.
scared. Yeah.
The thing is, as well. The thing is, the games that we win convincingly, in the game that we win with small margins, we're always a bigger threat on the right when Anthony's playing.
Exactly. I totally agree. Yeah. He's
done
well.
To what you were saying, is it the cultural hunger to be successful?
Might be.
I think you can players from abroad have more desire.
Yeah, they have more desire,
more belief, more determination to do well, whereas the English players will think, oh, I'm a millionaire now. I live the lavish lifestyle. I've got the big house.
Exactly. You heard it from Maguire. You heard it from Maguire last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago. Oh, I don't have to prove myself.
I don't know who told him to say that. That is messed up, mate. Absolutely messed up.
A lot of these United players, especially the English ones, they feel they play for United. They've done it all.
Yes.
They're done. They don't have to prove themselves. I don't think Maguire's the only one. I think there are more English players in that squad that will probably feel the same way that Maguire does. They just don't say it. Maguire is stupid enough to say it. Yeah, that's what I feel.
But the problem is as well, it's the club's fault as well.
It's the club's fault.
Paying that much money for a young kid. You are going to spoil people. You are going to, you're going to start affecting their psyche where they think, well, money defines them. And that's what they basically think. Yeah, so we've got to get that pay structure back in track. We've got to set a pay scale or a pay cap of 200,000 a week. Marcus Rashford is on 200 grand a week. He's his next
contract should not exceed 300, honestly. But I don't know if they're going to pull that one
Bruno
off.
Fernandes is on 240 a week. Bruno and Marcus are probably have the highest output in this team. Why is Sancho sitting there on the bench at about 350 a week?
Sancho's really at 350?
Yeah. The guy is 375.
Yeah.
I mean,
the guy is overpaid. We know that.
Yeah, but his contract being renewed, but it's going to be cut.
So that will make Sancho the highest paid player in the club.
You're right. So Sancho's earning more than Varane and Casemiro.
Yeah.
So you can tell. I mean, a lot of this is just not. I mean, so you could tell that blame has to be also put on the way the club has been run.
Yeah.
You have to blame has to be put on Woodward and all those stupid whatever and all those guys that make the contract decisions. You got to put blame on them, and that's why the club needs to be sold.
Yeah. I do. I definitely put it on Richard Arnold in the Glazers.
Let's switch gears quickly. Vim and Bems. Lampard's new Chelsea manager. What did you think of that when you heard that, Vim, on Thursday?
The prodigal son returns.
The prodigal son.
But I believe he must have signed a contract. Regardless of if any results go so bad, I must be there to the end of the season. Because if he gets sacked, he'll be the first player to be sacked, the first man to be sacked 3 times by the same club.
And it's unlikely, right?
Yeah, he's
unlikely. What is it? Yeah, 2 months.
Nah,
2 months left in the job. Okay, look, he had fairly good results.
No, second time, yes.
And he settled the ship. You know, he's good with the players. He's, you know, he puts his arm around people. He's not a tactician. He's almost like a glorified Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Is he better than Ole or is he worse than Ole?
Debatable, right?
Yeah.
But he's got that kind of feel good personality. You know, he's got that Chelsea through and through, and he will help stabilize that ship for a real manager to come along. So I don't think it's such a bad thing. I mean, it was an odd thing.
You surprised?
I didn't expect it. I was expecting Gus Hiddink to reappear because he always did in the past with Chelsea. But you know, who else is out there? I don't know. Where's Graham Potter going to go now?
Luis Enrique.
Well, this is the one. This is the one they're looking out for now. They probably want to get him in. And there's someone else's name been touted as well.
Nagelsmann.
Yeah,
and that's a good one. Julian's a good manager, and honestly, I was thrown off when he was sacked by Bobby. It was
do you know why he was sacked?
Well, yeah, the whole girlfriend thing in the league.
No. Roll this back. What happened? I need to hear this part.
Apparently,
who's this guy? Who's this?
Julian Nagelsmann at Bayern Munich. Apparently, like their tactics and some like internal things had been leaked, and then it like come to find out, or allegedly still, it was like his disgruntled girlfriend who had like leaked some stuff out, and then like broke up with him the next day. There's a lot of drama going around. But honestly, like I still wouldn't have fired him. I don't think it was his fault. What are you gonna do, man?
They did say they sacked him for
ladies be crazy sometimes, man.
Yeah, but they also did say they sacked him for non-sporting results as well.
Non-sporting results, okay.
Inverted commas.
Well, Bayern Munich got the league. Were they struggling when he was sacked?
What does that mean?
Bayern Munich was still in a strong position, but their performances had kind of dwindled a little bit. It wasn't like the vintage Bayern Munich performances.
No, some players didn't like his methods. Apparently, Cancelo didn't like it. Kimmich, Goretzka, they didn't like his methods of training, and then he was shaking the boat too much as well with the senior management of the club.
Right.
And then the girlfriend thing, Louis, I don't know about that one. That's a new one.
Right. So let me go.
You don't know about that one. That's all I was hearing about. That was like front page news coming out of the Bundesliga.
She's leaking stuff.
I'm going to call it right now. I think if he goes to Chelsea, I think he won't be successful at Chelsea. I don't think. I think.
Is that what your crystal balls tell you?
I think there's too many. I think you're right. I think it's too many personalities.
I don't think it's gonna work. I think it might be too big of a job for. I think he's gonna end up crumbling like Potter did. Because I mean, he plays a good brand of football. Julian Nagelsmann does, just like Potter did. I mean, Julian Nagelsmann is young. I know he has the experience, but I mean, coming to the Premier League, there's a lot of pressure. It's just I think what Chelsea need those squad of players. I don't know those squad of players. They need a manager that's going to come in and going to tell them this is the way it is. You get on the program.
Isn't he the manager to do that?
That's what he does, though.
That's what he does, isn't it?
Well, apparently he couldn't keep his job at Bayern.
No, but he was
right?
messing with too many.
I think
senior players there.
I think why he was so successful at Leipzig, right, is because they didn't have a lot of
big players.
You know, the big players.
Chelsea have big players though.
Yeah. Chelsea has a lot of big. How do you control these lot of big players at Chelsea?
You got to get
all them lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I mean,
Zinedine.
yeah, you
Zinedine,
need.
yeah. I'd
Yeah,
like to see him
Zinedine
in
would
the
have been
Premier
a
League.
perfect
No, but he
appointment for
doesn't want to
Chelsea.
coach football. He doesn't want to coach clubs
Yeah.
anymore. He wants to coach
Okay.
national French team. Right,
Straight to
Louis.
France.
I think
So,
Luis Enrique will be a good one too.
how
Yeah.
did you
Chelsea.
see the Lampard signing, Louis? What you heard?
Very, very much a PR cover up, right? I think that was I think it was right. I think it was to steady the ship as well as just kind of keep the Lampard cult following happy. I think that if you're a Chelsea fan and you hear, oh, Lampard's coming back to the end of the season, you're like, yeah, okay. You're not protesting outside the front office and that kind of thing. Ultimately, though, and we talked about this last time, it's just a string of really, really bad decisions by the club. I mean, it is firing Lampard the first time. Tuchel worked out. It was fantastic. And then firing Tuchel was a disaster. Obviously, that comes with the change of ownership. And then like the whole like not seeing eye to eye with the new ownership. That was a stupid, disastrous move. Hiring Graham Potter, who clearly wasn't prepared for it, was a very disastrous move. Firing him in the middle of the season, I think, was a horrible decision. I never like when managers are fired in the middle of the season because it never works out. It's not like the season gets better. Like I don't know, and I'm sure there's some examples, but they're very few and far in between where a manager is sacked and then the interim manager comes in and they just start flying, right? It's not a let them finish it out, get to the end of the season, because at least that way you can take the time to.
But they are seeing themselves going further and further to the relegation,
right,
out of the Premier League, no money. They have to do something. As long
as you like tell the manager like, okay, look, you got to the end of the season and then you're out. We're actively looking for other managers. Now you can at least have a chance to bring someone in, talk to them, create a plan, right?
But then they'll be in the championship.
Yeah.
No. You know how hard it is to come back from the championship in English football? Oh my God.
Chelsea's not going to go to the championship.
Potter would not have gotten them relegated. It wouldn't have been pretty, but
true. But no European football, nothing.
Yeah, no European
money
football.
In revenue lost.
With Lampard's not going to get them to European football. There's no way. I don't see it happening. They're 9th right now, correct?
Yes. Right. Kenneth, welcome to the show. Kenneth representing UK. Welcome, Kenneth.
What's up, Kenneth?
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Not too bad. Happy Easter. How are you?
Happy Easter to you
too.
too.
Snap,
yeah,
they're 11th. Sorry. Maybe
they're 11th. Oh, you even give them 2 places higher than they should. Kenneth, we heard Lampard coming back to Chelsea. What was your thought when you heard it on Thursday breaking news in England?
Yeah, another early appointment, isn't it? That's a typical. It was a poor decision. It was a poor. The whole thing about Chelsea just speaks poor planning, poor decision making, shocking strategy. It's just all over the shop at the moment. There are so many other better managers you could have gotten as interim managers that would do a much better job. Now, not just steady
like
ship,
Sam Allardyce.
No, come on. Steady the ship, but also have a plan that would help transition into the new season for a new manager. I agree with what Bems was saying. Chelsea do not need a Nagelsmann. They don't need any up-and-coming young manager at this point because they went down the strategy of buying big names. And when you go with big names, when you have big name players, you need to go for a big name manager. That's how it's going to work.
Luis Enrique kind of, right?
Someone like Luis Enrique, probably a Zidane, an Ancelotti, or those type of known managers. Even a Mourinho. Mourinho will do a good job there because
I don't think
he won't go back there.
He won't go back. He won't go back.
I think he would. I think he would go back. He's always said that there's a coming.
Not third time, mate.
I'm telling you, you'll be surprised. Mourinho said there's one thing he said that one thing he never did was win the Champions League with the English club.
Oh, well,
he made a comment
that have any Chelsea there anytime soon.
But
so you can forget that.
Sorry, Ken, go ahead.
You say that. You say that.
Can't go ahead, man.
You're right. You're right. No, it's fine. So yeah, I mean, the season's done. They're just gonna try and get to the end of the season. knowing the Americans, they'll probably hire someone stupid as well. But yeah, it's good.
Jesse
good
Marsh.
for us. Good for us.
Jesse
Jesse
Marsh.
Marsh. Hell.
Or
Don't write
someone
that
like
out.
what's his name?
Leeds shouldn't have fired Marsh, man. I don't think that was. I don't think that was a good idea.
The former Leicester manager. What's his name?
Brendan Rodgers.
Brendan Rodgers.
They'll probably get Rodgers.
Rodgers is a good coach, though. He's a good manager. Rodgers was a bad season. No, Rodgers.
But the only, the only thing is
Chelsea.
that, but Rodgers though would like how is he going to be able to handle those big name players though?
He can't.
He handled the Liverpool. Remember when he was handling Suarez, Sturridge, and
Suarez was biting people. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's why Gerrard. That's why Gerrard slipped, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Gerrard,
they come with under pressure. Yeah,
the Gerrard.
I think this Chelsea squad needs this Chelsea squad. There's too many players in there. Too many big players that you need a Zidane. You need.
If I was to pick a manager, I'll get. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'll go with Zidane. 100%.
You need a Zidane. Someone that has
say all the results go nice
right
now from now to the end of the season with Lampard. You don't think they can keep him on if they get a great result?
They will. The Americans. That's what Americans do.
There you go. Yep.
They will keep him on. Yeah, they will.
Y'all remember this happened to us a few years ago, right? Ole is at the wheel. Tell me how good.
Okay, Bez, you don't want to go through that nightmare. That vision hurts.
Give him a bit. You remember?
Rio Ferdinand. Get the paper. Give him the paper. Let him sign it.
Yeah, I remember. It was a nightmare. They let him sign before the season, and when he signed, the results went
disaster.
Oh, bloody hell! It's just so sad. So, Ken, quickly, we were quick before you came on. We were debating like, why is Sancho struggling, and why is Anthony doing a bit better than Sancho? Is it a cultural thing whereby foreign players want hunger more than English players? So we talked about Mason, Lingard, Sancho, all English, compared to young players who also came to United, Ronaldo, Nani, who the hunger's there. What's the difference? And Anthony,
the difference is, I think the best way of putting it is, if you take Rashford to, let's say, the Brazilian league, how do you think Rashford would perform in a Brazilian league? Do you think he would do well?
I don't think so, mate.
I think he'll struggle, but most of it is mental. It's mental. If you look at Ronaldo, he had this mental picture. He knew where he was going. He was determined to be the best player in the world. He just wanted to be. It's that mentality. You've got.
But he came from a league. He came to a very physical English league at 18, 17 and a half.
That's the mentality, because he knew that I can still be the best. So that's why.
Okay. Then players who are in the league already, grown into the league, are struggling.
I mean,
it's all mental. It's all mentality. Everything is your mindset.
Yeah, it's a mental thing.
So are we saying Sancho is having issues mentally?
That's why. Well, ETH sent him to Netherlands to work on his mental health, because he mentally was all over the place. He got an assist on Saturday, which was good, but he's not. We expected more, or we expect more. And your question around Anthony, I think, look, every time Anthony comes off, the game just changes in terms of how we attacking wise. Yeah, he's an outlet. That's why every time we get the ball, we're looking for Anthony, because he knows that one, he can keep the ball. Like, I know people will say, "Oh, he dribbles," but he's holding the ball to let other people come in. Yeah. We don't have people that can hold the ball in the team, so he holds the ball and he takes some players. By the time you know it, everyone's taking a breather, and he just needs to work on his final third. And I think once he does that, we'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so
keep or let go next season?
That's the question I wanted to ask.
Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a very tough one.
I'm gonna throw Louis in there. Louis said, "Get rid."
Look, I am in favor of selling. If we keep him, I'm not upset about it, but he needs a little bit of hand holding, man. Like
I can see why you're saying that, Louis, because if I throw, this is a way to judge whether Sancho is good enough in the biggest game in the league. Let's say Liverpool away, Chelsea when they're playing well away, Man City away. Would you start Sancho?
Nope.
There you go.
Wow,
That's
Start
the
Garnacho.
challenge. That's the challenge. Because he's not even okay. Fair enough. If you're not like, at least be physical. At least get into the. He's not in the game. He's like, he gets the ball and he wants to take on plays. He loses it, but he will get an assist, and everyone will go, "Oh yeah." The stat merchants will go, "Yeah, he got an assist." But did he really impact the game? Did he really?
No.
And I think
Did
it's
you
all
know
the mental
Garnacho has
state.
had more
It's the
impact
mental
on
thing.
United coming on as a sub than Sancho,
Yes.
and I find it sad.
Yep.
Garnacho's not even 19. So is this
No, he's
another
19.
cultural thing again?
No,
he's
he's 18.
Argentinian, not
Oh, he's
English.
18.
He's
It's the
18.
mental thing with Sancho,
It's a
man.
mental thing.
It's a mental thing. Like I've said, this guy went.
And that's fine, man. And I agree that like these players, they need to have the resources readily available that they need to deal with these kinds of things, right?
Take it from their wages, man. If they get paid enough.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I was going to say as well. Yeah.
something like this. I mean, either whatever you say about it, like at the end of the day, this is top flight football, and you have to at least show that you are improving and that you can perform in instances. And it's so inconsistent with Sancho that it's just I don't see over the course of 3 years any improvement. When it was the first year, everyone said, "Oh yeah, it's different. It's the Premier League. He's just getting settled." Second year is, "Oh yeah, it's Ole's fault, or it's this and it's that." Third year, it's yeah, now it's the mental issues and these kinds of things. But I mean, how many players, or sorry, how many fans were trying to get Martial's head because he was injured all the time, or there's so many examples of the fan base going after certain players. And and maybe it's the English bias and maybe it's not, but like now this time around, like so many people are ready to just kind of stick by and for lack of a better word, coddle Jadon Sancho because of what we think he is possibly capable of. We haven't seen it. 3 years now, we have not seen him be a consistently impactful player for this team. And if we decide to keep him another year, like the improvement has to be drastic and it has to come quick, or else then yeah, it's just a continuously expensive, very expensive experiment.
How long has he got on his contract at the moment?
I think he did the 5-year contract.
Good question. Let's see.
Sancho?
Yeah, because if he's got 2 years left, I will let him. Oh, that's the thing. You can't if you let him. He's young.
Do you know how
so
much
he
he's costing us a year?
350.
Jadon
Yeah.
Sancho.
You need to
No,
get
no,
sell on
but
value
here-
as well.
He's costing us nearly 18.5 million in wages.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I think this is what I was
And
saying.
you're giving me one dribble, one cross a game. Get the hell out of it, mate.
Nah, man. Let's guys. I know y'all. And I agree with you. Sancho is not. He's not provided. He's not done what he's supposed to do.
He signed a
I agree
four-year
with that.
contract in 20.
How many years?
But give Sancho till next
20
season.
when?
Give him till next
In
season.
21, he signed a 4-year
In
contract.
21. My
Yeah.
God, so we got him to 25.
Yeah,
It's,
he's
it's an
still.
expensive experiment. If he was on
He's-
200 grand a week or 150, I'd think, okay, yeah, we can keep him for the rest of the contract. But second highest paid player in the club,
Wow.
And
I
he's-
didn't
For
he's
know
getting
that.
Sancho to
a-
go,
he's getting
you have to pay him
unset-
off. Because
Yeah.
no one's gonna pay him the
No one's
wages
gonna
he's
pay
on
that
right now.
wages.
No one's
No
gonna pay the
way.
wages. So you have to get. This is, in my opinion, I think we keep Sancho for another year. Let's
and he's
give
got to
it.
step up. He's got to
Let's
step
give
up.
it. Let's give it another year, or at least to the January transfer window. And guy, man, you gotta. You have to show us what you got. You have to come to the table.
The other
know
thing
what
as
I'm
well,
saying,
do you
with
think in terms of productivity and output, he's up there with, or Garnacho and him are comparable?
No,
No,
Garnacho's on a
you
different
can't.
level.
You can't come.
Garnacho's on a better level, higher level?
Yeah,
Yeah,
higher
and
level.
and
level.
and
Gets
it's
7
young,
grand.
this is what I'm
Work rate
saying.
and output.
Is-
Yeah, he's in
Garnacho
and
gets
Garnacho's making
7,000
£7,000
pounds a week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
How much
Yeah,
is
you're
Garnacho a
right.
week?
If Jadon Sancho spend that on a sports psychologist a week, I'm sure it'd be okay.
Yeah, I just think, in my opinion, right?
Big fat.
I think we're I think we're going straight to conclusions with Sancho. Just what I will say is that
give him one more year. I think I'll agree.
It is a mental
thing. One more season.
It's a mental thing that he went through. For him to go out of the team for 3 months, there has to be something that he went through personally, right? He's
Which
back.
is understandable.
We're not going to expect him to just get over all that stuff. It's going to take some time. Give him one more year.
Maybe he had some tax issues.
Or at least till January transfer window. Let's see what he can
do. They'll pay the wage.
Yeah, if this is the case this time next year, pay him off and let him go. Pay him off and let him go. You're not
I'll agree. Bems, I agree with you. Yeah, one more season. Give him one more season. When we have a proper centre forward, we have a better midfield.
Exactly.
It's the second season, so he
played with Pogba. Yeah. How much more better do you need? And you're still not delivering, man. Please.
Wait, come on,
I
Tim.
think we're giving his guy excuses.
No, we play with Pogba, but were we playing the start? Okay, were we playing the start that would get the best out of Sancho with Pogba?
Okay, so he's played under Ole. Nothing worked. He played under
what style of play did the Ole play? What style of football did Ole play? What style of football did Ole play?
Ole was
we don't want to go down this road.
No. I can bring this to you guys. Okay, what style of football did Ole play?
That was PE football.
There's no style.
Okay, there was no style. Ole did not play an attractive style of football, right? Ole was playing counter-attacking.
Yeah.
Sancho is not a counter-attacking player. That's one.
Under Ragnick, he struggled as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Sancho, yeah.
Tim's come with his stats.
I'm telling you, under Ragnick, he struggled.
But it wasn't just him. The rest of the team struggled. So give me something else.
The thing is, Bems, do you not think this club needs to rebalance now?
He's still struggling.
Okay, he's still struggling, but he went through a mental...
He's struggling in England as well.
He went through a mental...
We've opened up a can of worms, boys.
Sancho went through a mental period of his career. That's why he went out the team. Something happened in his personal life.
I get it. So why not just take the time off completely? Why not just take time off?
Bems, you know what happened to Sancho? The HMRC came knocking.
And also Bems, I'm sure you've had challenging moments in your life, and you haven't said, "Oh, I'm not working anymore. I'm just gonna sit at home and cry over it." Like what could have happened to him? Seriously, what could have happened to him?
So this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. Remember
the penalty
Lingard,
he missed.
Remember
the
Lingard.
racial abuse. I get it.
Oh yeah.
That was 3 years ago.
Saka, look at Saka though.
No, but okay. But I got something in Saka's defense. Saka has a family structure. Saka is Nigerian. You know the way the Nigerian and African culture is behind, like the family behind Saka. It's so. I mean, it's so structured. It's so proper. Even the English players, right? The England players were saying that they would marry off their sister to Saka right now because Saka is such a good guy. He's such he has a support from his family. Sancho doesn't have that.
Does Sancho not have a family?
I mean, you got
not have a family.
Sancho don't know who his daddy is.
You got Saka bringing jollof rice to the team to eat.
Who's my daddy?
You got Saka bringing jollof rice to that whole dressing room to eat. They love Saka. Sancho's a different ballgame.
That's nice. That's nice.
Sancho doesn't have.
But we loved him when he came. When we paid 70 million for him, everyone loved the play.
He got showed love.
I did too, but I also think because I think Kay mentioned something about this, that the people that like Sancho has some friends or some people that he hangs around with that he has in the background that it's not really good for him. I think that's boys. Yeah. That's in the
hangs around with
this guy went down the pub. Remember Morrison?
Ravel Morrison,
Yeah, the same thing. Great talent, fantastic player. From the academy, wrong crowd, wrong everything. He got arrested and they tried to keep you behind the scenes. It just could not.
But you guys are saying
just throwing this out there. Jadon Sancho comes from a loving 2-parent home of Trinidadian immigrants.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago.
Just throwing that out there.
Son Sancho is his dad's name.
Yeah,
very lovely.
It's not like it's not like Annie. Like Mans was growing up in the orphanage, and one day,
but let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question though. But did Sancho grow up with? Did he grow up with money?
Most of these footballers didn't grow up with money.
Neither did Saka, though. Saka didn't grow up with money.
Saka grow up with money.
Okay.
99% of footballers grew up with middle class or lower class.
Even Wayne Rooney
100%.
came from a slum.
Yeah, but Wayne Rooney, when Rooney's mentality is a different ball game.
So that's why I said it's
a
That's
mentality.
the thing, though, right? It's like at what point does Jadon Sancho also have to take responsibility over his?
I'm not saying that he. Of course, he has to
Mentality.
take responsibility. Of course, he has. But the thing about it is that
It can't be a crutch. That's what I'm getting at. Like it can't be an excuse. Like yes, you
can't have an excuse for him.
If you need to take time out and work on yourself and get help, that's perfectly acceptable.
Which he's had 3 months.
But it's been 3 years, man. It's been 3 years.
Okay, it's 3 years.
It's not like he started off great and then something bad happened and then he's formed it. That's not what happened. It was always mediocre in the Premier League. So like, yeah, and
it wasn't always mediocre in the Premier League. It wasn't always. He scored some important goals for Ten Hag.
Was the narrative
I'm going to say
in his
this.
first season not that he was?
Has he ever scored 10 goals this season for United?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. In Ten Hag's tenureship, right? The first 2 games we lost. The game against Liverpool, nobody was expecting us to win that game. There was a moment that changed Ten Hag's time at United, and that moment came from Jadon Sancho.
That goal against Liverpool.
The goal against Liverpool.
You're the second highest paid player on the roster. You can't just have one moment.
No, I'm not saying that. Oh yeah, that one moment as giving him the license to do whatever he wants to do. No, I'm not saying that. But like you guys are saying, can you sell Jadon Sancho tomorrow? You can't do it. You're not gonna sell him. So what you gonna do?
No one's gonna buy him.
No one's gonna buy him. So
no one wants him.
We're complaining for no reason. You're complaining for no reason. He's not going nowhere. It's summer. He ain't going nowhere.
The only thing I agree with you is to give him 1 year. I say give him one more season. Let him
some more time.
You know, better team next season. Hopefully.
All I'm saying, we can
truly judge him after next season. We can honestly judge him after the end of next season because he would have had a steady manager. He would have had players, good players.
I can live with that. What I cannot live with is saying that he has done anything to earn his current status at Manchester United because he is not.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's earned his stat. I'm not saying he's earned it. I'm not saying, oh yeah, you should be looked upon as a savior, or he should be. No, I'm not saying that.
Not a savior, just the second highest paid player.
I mean, that's on the club, bro. That's not on us. That's on the club.
90% of United fans still support him. They still think they still have that Borussia Dortmund believe he can deliver. But time is running out,
and I think he can still deliver. I think there's a chance he could still. Yeah, Vim, go ahead. You want to ask a question?
Would you trade Jadon Sancho for Jude Bellingham?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
No hesitation.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I like the honesty, that is there. Anyone would. I think anyone would. Yeah.
But isn't that the same thing as? I mean, different players coming from the same club. Dortmund is the common factor.
Jude Bellingham is playing. He's a starter for England.
Have you seen Jude Bellingham's mentality?
Yeah, have you seen the guy's interviews?
He's got
he's a leader.
Very strong mentality, leadership mentality as well. Yes,
that guy's a man.
I think Jude Bellingham would do way better.
Just a teenager.
I think he would do way better under a Ten Hag system than Jadon Sancho would do under an Ole system, right? It's a different.
I agree.
At least here, like the support is not there yet, but at least it's getting better, especially because Ten Hag is demanding that the standard goes up. Not just in the team, but the structure around the team. So at least you have that aspect of it. The only thing that I would worry about is, are we paying an exorbitant amount for a young English footballer that has had some success? That's
he's proven,
problem, right?
He's a proven.
Proven where?
No. When I mean proven,
I don't know about proven, man. That's
fair.
when I
mean proven. He's proven in the
Champions League. If you watch, you watch this
Germany.
guy play. Do you guys watch Jude Bellingham play in Champions League? Just like what Ken is saying. You watch him playing in. No, forget Sancho. Jude Bellingham is the guy. To me, he looks like a player that's grown beyond his years. He's 19. He acts like he's 25, 26.
if you pay 160, 150 million for a 19-year-old.
No, that's too much.
That's too much. That's too
what
much.
I'm saying though. Like these are
Too much.
these are the numbers that are being thrown around. If you
Okay.
Too much.
you say you pay 100 million for him, if you pay 100 million for a 19-year-old and say, oh, he's beyond he's matured beyond his years. What pressure are you putting on that kid? That is a kid. What pressure are you putting on that kid to come into your club and perform week in, week out? And
I'll put it this way.
run into another situation where he has to chuck off to freaking the Netherlands for 3 months.
If we can, I'll put it this way. If we can, I'll put it this way. Right? You
center?
cannot compare. You cannot compare.
Apparently, I don't know what day spa they got over there, but
You
it
cannot
looks
compare
really good.
Louis. You can't compare Jadon Sancho to Jude Bellingham. Jadon Sancho,
I'm comparing him
right?
to every English player that we've.
Okay. What I mean, if you're comparing, what I'm telling you is that Jude Bellingham has shown his maturity on the biggest stage.
He's 19 years old.
I know, but he's more mature than Jadon Sancho, though.
These are
more
people
mature
that
than
have to
Jadon
be
Sancho.
nurtured.
He's more mature than Jadon Sancho. He's a better player than Jadon Sancho. The guy
But
plays
that
for
doesn't
England.
mean that
He's
he's a
shown in
more
the Champions-
mature, that he's mentally more mature. And
Have you watched his interviews? Have you watched his interviews? Have you watched him talk in his interviews?
Interview tell you that?
Bro, the guy doesn't shy away from the camera.
Interviews, your PR person already told you what to say, how to say, how to present yourself. Those are mostly all put together for them.
All I'm saying, man,
that
is
put
go
away, even that put
spend
Watch
the
the way-
house on a 19-year-old kid and
Watch this
watch the problems.
Do you
arise.
watch the way he
That's all I'm
performs on the
saying.
field? Do you see the guy's a freaking the guy acts like he's a leader on the freaking pitch. Ken, what do you have to say about this, man?
Oh, I mean, are we talking about how much
Bellingham.
we're going to pay for? I'm a big Bellingham fan, but it's just the money we pay. What okay,
Yeah, the
Ben,
money's
going
too
back
much.
to what
Yeah.
would you pay for? What would you pay for him? If you had
85 million
Okay.
max.
I won't pay over
6 barrels
100.
of oil.
Huh?
What? Vim's not serious.
No, Vim, man, I mean, we all know Vim, man. Standard procedure.
But what?
But I won't
another
pay.
thing
I would say max, right? For comparing them to, like, let's just be honest, right? Jude Bellingham, if you're gonna pay 120 million for Enzo Fernandez, right? But he has won the World Cup, so you gotta you're gonna put a little bit extra on top of that for him. I'll put Jude Bellingham on almost a similar level as Jude Bellingham. He just doesn't. Sorry, as Enzo, he doesn't have the World Cup. But
So how much is gonna?
I would say he's not. I would say 90 million. 90 million max.
I think 90 million.
90 million.
Under 100. I'll pay under 100.
I'll say 90
million
million,
is
man.
sensible. Yeah.
If you pay 90 million for a 19-year-old, you cannot be upset as a fan base if he
Doesn't perform.
if he plays limited minutes. And that's the thing, is like,
But
don't
he won't
expect him
play
to
minutes.
start. Don't
He would-
expect him to start every game. Don't expect him to go 90 minutes every 3.5 days. Because if we do that, which
I would
we've
expect
done,
him to go 90 minutes if you're in a game. He's 19 years old.
Yeah, if Saka can do that, then why can't Bellingham more mature?
Exactly.
Bellingham is more mature than Saka.
I'm gonna
Based on
bet on
what?
this, right? If
Based
Bellingham-
on experience, Saka hasn't played in the Champions League.
Bellingham,
Well,
has-
he's played in the Euro finals.
Yeah, he's played. Yeah, he has, but he hasn't played
Basically,
in the biggest club competition.
what it seems to me is like that there is a split in two schools of thought. It's one side of it, you have these are humans, these are young men, that these guys need to be nurtured and taken care of.
Right.
And then it splits with certain players because they've played Champions League or that they've had some success elsewhere. And what I'm saying is that when we've done this experiment before, this is not new. What I'm saying is when we buy young footballers for exorbitant amounts of money and then put these expectations on them because they play Champions League, because they've had success in their domestic leagues, that those players don't perform at the same level because of the pressures that are put on them. And then we have hour-long conversations like this one where we say, do we sell Jadon Sancho?
But again, the club has not been run well.
You're very correct.
The club has not been run well, right, in the past, where we would buy these big players and put a lot of pressure on them. We shouldn't be doing that.
So
if you have a proper, if the club is run well, right, you have a manager that has a squad with experienced players, right, that can lead this squad. So when you have players, when you want to spend the 80 million, 90 million for players like Jude Bellingham to bring him in the team, you have a structure in the team already that Jude Bellingham doesn't have to have that full pressure being put on him.
Should we buy Jude Bellingham if the Glazers stay?
No. I mean, okay, I'll put it this to you.
Question.
I will put it to you.
That is a very good question.
No, thank you.
Because you have to remember the structure's not there yet.
Regardless,
I would not.
Regardless, I would still buy him.
No.
I would still buy him.
I would still buy him
because the Glazers stay. You want to buy him?
I would still buy him because I have seen in my opinion, I've seen enough from Jude Bellingham over the past few years to take the risk on him. I've seen enough from him.
The whole transfer structure and the recruitment structure.
I have seen enough from Jude Bellingham.
You know what's going to happen? We'll get Jude Bellingham if the Glazers stay, and then we'll get another Weghorst in January because we don't have enough money.
Is what I'm saying. No.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that we have a manager that knows how to manage a squad. He's a no-nonsense manager, and I think that is going to work well for Jude Bellingham. I think. And you don't just get Jude Bellingham. You have to get Jude Bellingham and someone else as well. But
with that kind of money, if the Glazers stay, you're not getting more after you spend money.
Yeah, with the Glazers staying, if you get Jude, you're get
done.
That's it.
No,
it's not just the summer.
No,
it's not just the summer. The January transfer window is gone as well. So if you get Jude Bellingham, that's it. You're not getting any players.
You have to go look after Igalo if you want to come back a second time.
You're not getting an Osimhen, you're not getting a Kane, you're not getting a striker.
If we don't have, I mean, in that case, yes, I do agree. But I mean, I thought we're looking at like the way the clubs run, not how much money we have to spend after Jude Bellingham. It depends on our budget. One, right? Depends on our budget. But two, like, yeah, I do agree. If you get Jude Bellingham, as in typically over the years, I mean, the Glazers don't really give out a lot of money to spend on players anyway. So yeah, but if the money was there and we're like, okay, yes, you're going to have 250 million, 300 million.
They won't spend it all on
go buy.
That's the thing, though. The money
I wouldn't mind getting Jude Bellingham.
I
would still get Jude Bellingham. It depends on the budget.
That's the thing, though. Like if the Glazers don't sell,
remember they said United still
they will sell. They will sell.
They need to sell players.
They will sell that, but until they sell.
They will sell.
This is the system that we have.
They may not sell right away, but they will sell.
This is the system that we have. So if we're looking into the summer, let me put it this way:
look,
they're not going to sell. They are not going to sell by the start of the transfer window, of the summer transfer window. They're not going to. We're
not going to buy Jude Bellingham regardless right now. Even if we change ownerships by the summer, we're not going to be able to get him, because if you're going to get Jude Bellingham, you have to be talking to him since January or since last year. We're not getting him. It's too late. Just so this conversation is he's going to go to another club because it's too hypothetical.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
We're not going to get him.
Let's move on. Question time. Louis, any questions?
What?
Any questions? Yeah, go on.
No. I think that we find ourselves in a weird limbo situation right now with this whole speculation around the selling of the club,
right?
And it opens up these types of conversations because like we want these types of players because we want to see not only success but long-term success, right?
Yeah.
Until this whole circus around the Glazers is solved, I mean, yeah, it really is hard for us to speculate about what next season and the following seasons could possibly.
That's very true, man. That is so true.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, man, and it always comes back to this: like the Glazers have run this club poorly, and that's why Jadon Sancho had to disappear for 3 months. Like, because our players are not supported. Our players are not supported. They don't have the resources. And if we want to be successful, then Glazers got to go. That's my final thought.
All right. Anyone else?
I've got a question. How many trophies will United win come 30th of May?
Hopefully 2.
Louis, go first.
I would say hopefully 2. Obviously, we would
Is
like
that
to
with the Carabao Cup
won
in
one.
making it 2 or 2 on top of the Carabao Cup?
No, with the Carabao. I mean,
like as a
in
United
total
fan,
the season, the total.
We want 3 in total, right? But I think if we have 2, that blows any expectations that anyone had for us out of the water. Right. We're coming off the worst Premier League season that we've ever had, with a brand new manager that completely turned around the club and got the best.
Is that 2 with Champions League or without Champions League qualification?
I think we qualify for the Champions League. I think it's a rocky road ahead, especially with certain players being injured in that. But we are seeing certain players return that we thought were not going to return until the end of the season, which I think bodes well for us. I think Ten Hag can pull out a top 4 and
another trophy.
And one more trophy. I don't know whether that's an FA Cup or a Europa League trophy. I think the Europa League trophy might be the easier route, honestly.
Because we only got to beat Brighton and beat City in the final to win the FA Cup.
What's that?
Yeah, but the way
to win the FA Cup, got to beat
City
Brighton in the semis and beat City in the final.
The way City are playing these days, man, it's just...
That's hard. Brighton are playing extremely well.
I'm not confident.
Playing extremely well, and Man City is City, so that's really difficult. Sevilla is on.
Yeah, I agree with Leo. I think the Europa League might be the easiest one to get.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Sevilla is on horrible form right now.
City have woken up, bro. City have woken up.
Sevilla is not doing good. Who's left? Juventus is still in it.
Roma's still in there.
Roma's still in it. Those are probably your 2 biggest competitions.
I think there's a German and a Belgian club there. I think there's some German clubs still in there, if I remember.
Is Union
Portuguese? The people who beat Arsenal are still there.
Sporting is still there. I think Union is still there. And then the Belgian.
So you guys are saying the Europa League is an easier trophy to win than the FA Cup. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yes, technically, yes.
Yeah. And it also,
you only
it also
got 2
has
games,
to deal
beat
with
Brighton and beat Man City.
It's easier said than done.
You're not. I don't think you're not gonna get through City. I just don't see how we.
So
beat
you're
City.
saying at Wembley?
Nah, City's gonna beat us.
United can't beat City.
Hey man, anything can happen in tournament football, but it's gonna be extreme.
This is the way I look at it right now, because I see a City team that is you've awoken sleeping giants. They've just been awoken recently. I would say within the past week or 2.
And the Liverpool game, yeah.
Exactly. That Liverpool game, and then even yesterday when they beat who they beat 4-1
yesterday, 4-1.
Southampton. Oh man, that was a typical City performance. They got Haaland in the game, and without Haaland, they're doing their business. And then you have to play. If we're gonna meet them in the final, that's if we get through Brighton. City have won the FA Cup a few times, experience. They're gonna go. They're definitely wanting to go for trophies this season. Obviously, going for the title. They're going to want to win the FA
Sheffield
Cup.
United.
They're going to win the
walkover.
That's easy one. I think for us, I don't see us beating City in the FA Cup. The only chance is the Europa League, and I have a funny feeling we might fall short in the Europa League too. I think it's just going to be the Carabao Cup, and then
I think
and then
out the
Champions
FA
League,
Cup or Europa, we're going to win one. But to me, I still think the FA Cup is an easier trophy to win. Yes, it's City, but on that day, I think the lads will be, even the Scottish lad, they'll be all up for that game.
The Scottish.
But Scooby-Doo will be up for the game against City at Wembley. I think
for United to win that FA Cup final, if we are in the final against City, we need the full Ten Hag's full strength squad. Meaning when I mean full strength squad,
Casemiro, Eriksen, everybody.
You need the back 4, right? You need the back 4 with, I would say, Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka, Varane,
Martinez.
Varane, Martinez, Luke Shaw. You
Mhm.
need Casemiro in the midfield. You
Mhm.
need
Eriksen and Bruno.
you need Bruno. Eriksen, I'm not very sure.
Who would you play
Against
there?
City.
Scooby-Doo?
No, not Scooby-Doo.
Sabitzer.
I would say Sabitzer or Fred. I'll say
Mm.
Sabitzer or Fred.
And up front?
Because and then up front you need Martial. On the left you need left you need Sancho. Sorry, Rashford. And on the right you need
Anthony or Sancho. Who would you play on the right?
You need Anthony.
You need Anthony.
Man. You need Anthony.
Martial's got to play.
Yeah. Yes.
Martial is the main, the important piece.
So
of that
you're saying that
Martial.
lineup cannot beat City in the FA Cup final?
It can. If we are to beat them, that's the squad. Martial has to play at number 9. If Martial's not playing, forget it. It's over.
Workhorse.
No,
he will give them aerial. He will give them problems at the top and the back.
No, Tim, no. Which area?
Tim, come
the
on,
guy
man.
doesn't even win the ball against 5'6".
We've got super Workhorse.
You can see as soon as Martial is available to be on the bench, Workhorse ain't getting a sniff.
It's true.
He's not getting a sniff. Yeah. So you could tell who Ten Hag prefers.
Yeah. Question to Vim. Vim. Ken asked the question. Did you ask the question? Did you hear the question?
Go on.
How many trophies? Yeah.
Go on, Ken.
How many trophies are we gonna
win this season?
Are we going to be holding come May the 30th?
Okay, so we got one.
We've got one already. Yep.
We're playing City in the FA Cup final, right?
If we get past Brighton in the semis,
it's not guaranteed.
We still got to play Brighton first.
We keep talking like we passed Brighton. We haven't passed them yet.
All right, yeah. Once we pass Brighton, I think we're gonna.
Once we pass,
then we face City. Then it's gonna be. If you remember that program.
So you said we can't beat City in the final?
That's what we're all saying. Yeah.
And then Europa League. Who is it?
I
Sevilla.
think we can. It's just gonna take
Sevilla.
I think Sevilla. We're gonna get our revenge, man. 2 trophies.
Okay.
2.
Well, I'm the only one.
Yeah?
I'm the only one that's saying
Not
1 trophy.
3, but 2.
2. So
That's
Europa League.
I'm saying FA Cup.
And that 2 can turn into 3 if we win the Europa.
I think Europa's more likely, man. I just.
Think there you go, Ken. Yeah.
It's
the Super Cup. Yeah, that's against the Champions League winner.
Trophy as well. If you win that in, I think just before the season starts, that's a big trophy to win.
You mean the winner of the Champions League?
Yeah.
Wait, question.
Dang, we gotta play Real Madrid.
If you win the Champions League, do you make you make the if you win the Champions League trophy, do you make Champions League for next season?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, that's what Liverpool did last when they won the Champions League with Benitez.
Quick speculation roundtable question.
Okay.
I have a question. Quick speculative roundtable question. Quick one. Do you think Jurgen Klopp will go to Real Madrid in the next few years?
No chance.
No way.
No way.
Vim, man. Vim, come on, man. Vim, where you come with these questions, man?
I was reading a report about it.
I've got another question quickly.
Who's got another question?
Yeah,
quickly. Hold on.
Do we need a right? Sorry, go on.
No. Vim. You know when Liverpool faced Real Madrid, Klopp talked very, very respectfully about Real Madrid. He didn't say a single bad thing. And there are reports that they are trying to entice him to come over because Ancelotti is apparently going to go and manage Brazil. Is that right? That's what I'm hearing.
They're
looking for an elite manager, and there aren't that many. So maybe Klopp is on their radar, and I think it'll be a perfect fit.
They should call Ole. He's not.
Well, now is the best time. If Klopp is going to go,
they need a boot cleaner. So maybe Ole.
Yeah. So my last question is: who would do we need a right back for next season? And if so, who should we get?
Right back.
Yeah,
we don't need the right back. You got Brandon Williams.
We need a right back. Come on, Tim.
Isn't he left back?
Tim. Let's be serious, man. Let's be serious with these
answers. Brandon Williams. Ole said he was a great guy, potential.
Ole's at the wheel. Brandon's at the wheel.
I'll say this: I've been happy with the way that both of our right backs, Wan-Bissaka and
I think they're both good
up recently, but they definitely need some support, and I think maybe a younger talented right back that could just
Brandon
fight.
Williams, young,
They're
talented.
both young, though.
I said, hey, I
Talk
said
about
talented.
Frimpong.
I said talented right back.
Frimpong,
You need a
Wan-Bissaka, both
young,
young.
talented right
You
back.
need experienced right back to go, because Dalot and Wan-Bissaka,
they're not
all our
ready.
right backs are young.
And
They're all
they
young.
need target
They're
practice
young.
as well.
They're
They
not
need
that
target
young. How
practice.
old is
They're
one?
young. They're below 25.
They
They're all
both
below
can't cross
25.
the ball.
That's
They
not
both
young
can't
in
cross
football
the
years,
ball.
man. In
Ah,
football
it
years,
is
that's
young.
not young.
It's young though. It's young. It's young. It's young.
Do you think any of you
I
guys?
think the right back you bring in has to be 25. It has to be 20, 26,
Wan-Bissaka is
25 and above. 26, 27. That's what
How
you
old
need.
is Dalot?
Dalot is what, 23?
20 something, yeah, it's quite young.
They're both below 25.
What about Max Aarons?
Wan-Bissaka is 25.
Oh
and,
no, not him.
And
You don't like Max
Dalot
Aarons?
is
Norwich.
Dalot is 24. They're not young.
We've been linked
They're
to
not
him
baby
for
football.
ages.
I know.
I know,
It's
but you
24
don't
and
want to bring.
25.
But you
They're
don't.
not
He'll be a DJ Spence.
But if you
Jed Spence.
Jed
you're
Spence, yeah.
if you're trying to create you can bring a young right back that will create competition. But you want an experienced person also in that position that could come in.
Currently? Who's available?
Why?
Jed Spence.
How old is this Frimpong guy? How old is Frimpong?
Yeah,
guy?
we're linked with Frimpong. I
How old
think
is
he's
he?
young.
Who's Frimpong?
He plays in is it Germany? He's very everyone's after him.
Is he German?
Liverpool after him, and I think even Arsenal after him. He's a very attacking fullback.
Oh, Jeremy
Really-
Frimpong.
That's him. Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 22 years.
Oh, he's young.
He's young too.
That's what I'm saying.
young, too.
Somebody
He's
like
done-
I mean,
Dutch
Dumfries.
Ghanaian.
Dumfries. Dumfries.
Yeah.
Minutes.
Lewis,
Dumfries is
how
one.
old is Brandon Williams?
Dumfries is good as
Dumfries.
well.
I would bring in Dumfries.
How old is Brandon
You know-
Williams? He's young.
Do you know Brandon Williams should
Tim,
go
come
wherever
on.
Maguire goes, man? When Maguire goes, just take Brandon Williams with him.
You already have a
Dumfries is
you already have a
26.
young right back, right? That is young enough. You need an experienced right back. So the young one can learn off of the experienced one.
True.
So when the experienced one leaves, the young one can take over.
That's the
You don't
thing,
want-
though, like,
there's too many-
you're
there's too many young right
I'm
backs.
sorry though. You're acting like these are young footballers that need a mentor. They're not. They're 24 and 25. Who are you going to bring in? Dumfries is 26. Who are you going to bring? Are you going to bring in a 30-year-old?
But he's more
right back
experienced
to
than
come
them.
teach these guys a thing or two?
Okay, so why did Ten Hag bring in Casemiro?
Because we had no six.
Okay.
We needed someone. We had no one. We had McFred.
And
Okay.
Matic.
Let me ask you a question. Can you win
Oh,
the league with
Matic,
the
he
low?
was-
Let me ask this question. Can you win the league with the low or Wan-Bissaka?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, with the both.
With both.
With
sure?
With both.
You sure?
There, yeah.
If they
And
get
that's
some
what I'm
target
saying.
practice,
You bring in someone to elevate
sure?
and force competition.
Yeah, I
force
don't
them
think
to
we
play
can.
at
Do you
their
know
absolute
why?
best.
I don't
You
think
don't
we
need
can win the
someone
league
to
with
come in and
those
hold their
guys.
hand and teach them how to play
yeah.
football.
but do you think those are key
I don't
positions
think
right
we
now?
can.
Do you think those are key positions
think
right
they're
now?
No, I think we need
it's
a
It's not a
center
key
before we
position
need a
right
right
now.
No,
It's
I
not
think
key.
it's very key.
striker?
Oh, you think it's
I think
key?
it's key.
A
Yeah,
striker's
because
probably
we're not,
more key.
We're not getting width down the right. Have you look at the team? Anthony's not going to cross the ball to. Well, he will try to cut in and send it to the far post.
Yeah, Ken has a
Our
point.
you know,
crossing is
Maybe
terrible.
crossing's
I
not a
think-
game anymore.
I think it's way more
we
crucial.
need to
that
mix
you
it
get a
up.
striker
That's why
and
we're
then you get a
predictable.
center back before you get a right back. Honestly, I think it's way more crucial that you fill those spots. And honestly,
Bailly's coming
we
back.
need
But the thing about it is that if you want to
Hmm?
win the league, if
Eric
you want to
Bailly
win
is
the
coming
league,
back.
Is he coming back?
Who?
Who's that?
Eric Bailly.
Oh
Eric
no.
Bailly?
No,
Nah.
he's done.
He's-
After what he
he's
said,
done.
he's not coming back. He's done.
What did
The
he
only
say?
one
but
that might
I
be
He
coming
talked about
back-
the bias
blame him,
that
though.
they
English-
always choose
English
I don't blame
bias.
him for that
the
statement.
English
though.
bias over.
The only
it's
one that
true,
might
though,
be
right?
coming
It's
back
true.
is
He was right, though.
He was
He's right.
right, but they don't hear it.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
he's
The
hear
right.
only one
though.
who might be coming back is Mason. That's the only one who might be coming back.
I don't know if
Tell us
he's
he's not coming
coming back
back.
Tellez is not
Tellez
coming
is
back.
done.
That's not
Tellez
coming
is
back.
done,
Yeah,
Tellez is done.
but Mason will be in the United shirt next season.
Yeah,
I guarantee
probably.
you guys that. He's
And
got.
honestly, I'm not
They're
upset
prepping
about
him up for that. They're prepping
I'm
him
not
up for
sad
that.
about it. I'm here for it. Let's see how he does.
But if we do get, I don't. In my opinion, I don't.
So if we
think
get
it's
if Mason
right
comes
to
back, are you getting a striker still?
Yes.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yes,
If the
yes,
Glazers
yes,
are in
yes.
charge, probably not.
Get rid of
Hopefully the
Burgos.
Glazers won't
What?
be charged.
You won't get a striker if you get Mason in.
If the Glazers are still here, then no, they won't spend the money. They'll spend the money elsewhere.
Oh,
Well, that's why they've got to go then.
yeah, that's why
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly. They have to go. If they
have to
go,
go.
then
So I
yeah,
guess
you
my-
probably will get a new one.
I guess that
you'll
comes back-
probably sell off a. You'll probably sell off a Martial, and you'll sell off some other dead weight. You'll sell.
No,
Tellez,
no, no.
you'll sell
You won't be able to sell Martial either, though. Martial's on big
Bams is
wages.
a huge Martial.
No, I like Martial, but I still think you sell him just because he's inconsistent.
I like that guy. I like the way he plays the game. I do agree.
Because he's a good striker.
Yeah, I got one.
He's just not
I got
fit.
one. I got one. So that leads to the question you guys led to it. Do you think we keep bringing this up every time? Will United be sold? Yes.
Eventually,
that's a big question.
Eventually, but it depends on when that happens, right? Is it going to happen this year? That's the question, right? Like if it doesn't happen this year, it could happen, but it's going to be pushed way down the line.
Louis has made a very, very important comment there. Yeah, point. Because do you know why? Do you know I say it's important? Because did you guys realize that Old Trafford was not in the UEFA,
the
Euro
list of
Euro 2028.
stadiums.
And did you get the excuse? United had to come out because everyone's saying, it's pity above United. They came out, and do you know what they said? They said we could be redeveloping the stadium at that time. I'm thinking that's 5 years down the line. So what's that telling you? That means that they're not even thinking about selling the club, because if we sell the club this year, surely we would start the redevelopment like a lot sooner, right?
Well, it could take the new owners
Ken, if we do the thing is to be redeveloping can mean two different things. It could be rebuilding the stadium, it could be building a new stadium. Regardless of what it is, it's going to take years in 5 years.
How long did it take to do Harlem? About 2 years, right?
5 years.
2 years?
No, it takes longer than that.
Was it longer than
that?
that?
New stadium. To build a new stadium is going to take longer than 2 years.
Spurs was almost 2 years.
I think it's going to take longer to redevelop Old Trafford than it is to build a brand new one.
We just rebuild it,
and that's also part of the conversation. But the Glazers will not either refurbish Old Trafford or build a new stadium and buy new players. They can't.
The thing about it is that for United to get back to where it should be, you need a new stadium.
Of course, and the Glazers.
You need a new stadium, and to do that,
you could remodel the old one.
You can remodel the old one and get a new facility. A new training facility. Remodel the old one and get players. You can. But stadium holds so much memories of victories. Gonna start a brand new stadium with
regardless, right? Even if it's a new stadium or remake that it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take money. It's gonna take billions.
Yes.
The Glazers are not gonna spend, in my opinion, the Glazers are not gonna spend billions on that club. Ain't happening.
I get it. That's why they're gonna have to sell.
I know.
So my answer to your question is they will sell. They will sell.
Yeah, they will. I think after all the fan unrest and campaigns and stuff.
I think they will sell by this summer. By this summer, they'll be gone.
I think that they're happy driving the club into the ground and getting every penny that they can for it. Honestly,
the thing is, right? $6 billion is a decent offer, and for them to not take
£6 billion pounds or $6 billion, it's two different
euros. Even euros is still good enough.
Even euros,
even if it was dirhams, or it's still good enough.
This is what I think is going to happen, right? I think they're just going to
$6 billion rubles.
Right now, what they're doing is they're doing everything they can to milk out as much money as they can to get the price that they really want. I think they keep this $6 billion. I don't think anyone's gonna get to $6 billion, in my opinion. I think the Glazers are eventually just gonna come down to a happy medium. It's gonna be 5 point something.
With the Shakers offer, which Shake has him as offered.
No, he hasn't offered the $6 billion. He hasn't.
No.
I think we're up to 5 billion.
5 point something. 5
Yeah. It was about 5, maybe 5.1.
And a couple of million barrels of oil as well.
And think about it. He's gonna fake gas. But what the Glazers are not saying is that money does not include the debt of 900 still sitting in the corner.
That is
why Sheikh is going to pay that off as well.
Sheikh will pay that off as well. Yeah,
and that's why Sheikh is going to win the bid because Sheikh is going to pay. Sheikh is willing to pay that off after he's paid the 5.5, the $6 billion for the club.
Yeah, unfortunately, at this point, though, no matter who buys it, it's just not done by the start of the transfer window, and it puts us in a really bad position this summer and possibly beyond. So it's.
I would say it already puts us in a bad position because the club has to be sold now
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's be sold now.
Needed to be sold, and
Yeah.
it's just another example of the Glazers screwing us over.
Right. Well, I think the club will be sold. I think by the end of this season, we'll have a clearer picture. I think we've either would have gone to the final third bid or they've accepted Sheikh's bid, and we should be done because they're just dragging this to see how many. Because that other guy, the Finnish business guy, what's his name?
Oh, the Joker.
Yeah, that Joker,
yeah.
man.
It starts
Who
with
did
How do you
lose
do-
50% fan and 50%
How do you do an
older.
interview like that?
Yeah.
And you say you signed an
Thomas
NDA.
Zakilakis.
Yeah.
It's like
How do you put a bid? You say you want to buy United, but to buy United, you're gonna have to put sign an NDA, and you go and do an interview like that. It just don't make no sense to me. I don't believe that guy.
Right, gentlemen. Any more? I think questions would finish with no more questions, right? Right.
Yeah,
It's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, the Sevilla game on Thursday is actually a bit worrying. I actually thought the first leg was away. The first leg's at home. So United need to go.
We gotta pump them 3-4-0.
Yeah, anything a 2-2 a draw would not be funny. We're
gonna win 3-4-0.
I said we have to. I didn't say we're going
it's
to.
not-
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
I said we
3-1.
got to pump them 3-4-0.
I'm thinking 3-1.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if we beat him 3-4-0. I'll
Well,
be
Rashford's injured,
But I
isn't
be
he?
dancing in the streets.
So
Rashford-
any words
and
on
I think
Rashford?
Rashford's
What's the
gonna-
latest on
yeah.
Rashford?
I think Rashford is out.
I just looked it up. It's still
I think he's out for a month.
inconclusive. It's a groin injury, but no one knows any details about the extent of the injury, and no one knows any details about how long he's going to be out yet.
He's gonna be out for at least.
They're keeping it under
definitely
wraps.
not playing on Thursday.
Rashford
Probably
ain't playing
not.
no Thursday.
Probably
Rashford is
not.
not playing. I think you won't see Rashford back until the middle of May at the earliest.
Middle of May, yeah.
At the earliest, he's out. He's out for a while.
That's literally 4 weeks away.
4 weeks.
Yeah, 'cause
3-4
Ten Hag-
weeks, probably something like that.
Ten Hag did say it just
The
did
other
in his
players just
press
have to
conference.
step
It didn't
up,
look
right?
good.
Anthony,
Yeah, exactly.
Sancho,
Come on, Sancho,
need to
prove your
Yeah, this is time for Sancho to
highest
step up.
Now,
roster
let me ask
paid
you this question now,
position.
right? Are we gonna really miss Rashford the
Yes.
next few weeks?
Yeah, he will.
Yes.
But if we won't miss him, if the club are
we'll miss
scoring
his
and finishing
goals.
their chances,
We won't miss him. We'll miss his
we miss
goals.
his goals.
Because him as a footballer is shocking. Terrible. It's just he just
You're a bad
annoys me all
footballer.
the time.
Stop scoring all those goals.
The
No,
other players,
to be fair,
Workhorse.
Who do you think you are scoring all those goals?
I know, right? Workhorse, Anthony, Sancho, and Martial. If you need to all step up.
Sancho, Anthony, and Martial. I think that
be
could
good.
work.
Hmm.
I think that
They
could
need to
work.
step up.
And
Anthony
then
and Martial.
and then probably you're gonna have to take off Martial at some point during the game because he's made of glass.
Then bring on Workhorse.
No, just bring on another midfielder and hold it because hopefully at this point we're winning. Bring on
On
another.
that note,
You still got
on that
Pelestri,
note,
right?
gentlemen,
You still
it's
got
been an
Pelestri.
absolute pleasure.
You do still have
Yeah,
Pelestri.
Pelestri
You
as well,
still have Garnacho. They can put in minutes.
Garnacho,
Garnacho's
isn't
still
he out
injured.
for the season?
Is he
Isn't
still
he
Ganacho's
out?
still injured. He's still
He's still
injured. He's not ready yet.
I don't think he'll be back again till May.
I hope that's.
Oh yeah, no, he's not coming back till May at the earliest. And I think he might even go. There's a chance. There's talk about him possibly going to the
Under
under
20 World Cup.
21s World Cup. If that happens, then he's done for the season.
Oh, well.
And that would be sad because I think we need that guy. He's
I really
important.
do.
Yeah,
I
he's
really
a
do.
good potential. He really
He's an impact player.
he's confident.
Impact,
He's
yeah.
not scared. You
He's
know,
an
I like
impact, yeah.
I like his where his head is. Okay, he's a bit of a social butterfly, but you know, it is what it is.
That's
Right,
social.
gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Let me thank Ken. You are the furthest out, and you're the latest time zone out there. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
The
No worries.
American crew, Louis and Benz, thank you so much for joining us. It was a great show today. And
Appreciate
we look
it,
forward to our midweek show, which will be the post game on Sevilla. So we'll probably have to hope we have positive news against the Sevilla game. Gentlemen,
Yes,
don't forget
sir.
to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great weekend and a great week. See you guys soon.
You too.
Take care, man.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Jim.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Safe.
Bye.